serious consultations that should happen to bring this person into proper awareness that, unfortunately for you, this is a big loss. This one has to go. There are a few other instances where maybe the government is actually trying to acquire some of your land that is in the riparian. That's a different scenario where maybe compensation may be due in such a scenario. So there's the government now, like Nairobi Rivers, when they're doing what they're doing, there has to be absolute clarity and clear communication to the people. Because one fact must remain clear to Kenyans: riparian land has to be protected because it doesn't belong to one person. Secondly, if the government is expanding areas, then that's a different scenario. There has to be a lot of public participation. When you're removing people, like we saw in Gikomba, the kind of, consultations you have to have with Kenyans so that they can understand, actually, we need to move you from here because we need to pass this thing here for a flood zone or whatever. Then there must be very clear communication. So even the courts have been clear about that. They've been clear in how to recover some of these things, where compensation is due, and due process must be followed at all times. So as to whether that is what the government is doing is now the question, is now the issue. But there's no debate as to whether riparian land must be recovered or not. It must be recovered.
I want to look at in this entire conversation then, whenever a project is coming up, it's not just the architect that we look at. We have the QCs, we have the engineers, everybody who will make sure that this project comes up. But there is the regulation aspect of it. Who then regulates an architect if under the law, QCs and architects are together? So in the bill that you're talking about, the Architects Bill of 2026 seeks to remove everybody so that everyone is regularized individually. What would that do to save the problem that we see today?
Public safety, yeah? So first, the current regulations around the architect, our regulator is the Board of Registration of Architects and Quantity Surveyors. They're called BORACs. We call them BORACs.
Yes.
So they only regulate the architect and the quantity surveyor. The engineers are regulated by the Engineering Board of Kenya, which is a separate body. And then we have other regulators. There's NCA, which regulates contractors. Technologists have KETRE, which, so we have all these regulators in the space, yeah? So for architects, one, we don't need to be regulated together with quantity surveyors. Different levels of responsibility. Again, I say the architect has a sole responsibility towards public safety by nature of the profession and the technicality of the profession. Now, to answer your question, what does this bill do to bring now the safety that then we don't see? Number one, we want to, I don't like to use the word self-regulation, but it is more like a peer-to-peer sort of thing. Dennis, you're an architect, I'm an architect, right? You're doing the wrong thing. You come before a panel of your fellow architects to punish you or to discipline you or to, like what LSK does, right? It has absolutely a lot more impact. Then the penalties that are attached to one who has been declared that you have made a mistake here are high, punitive enough. Yeah, you'll see something like 5 million even for selling your stamp, because it's the worst thing you can do. That's how you expose human beings. That's how you expose Kenyans, to lack of safety, because you're selling your stamp. The very authority that you have been given to secure Kenyans, you can dish it out with very little money, of 50,000. I tell you, they sell their stamps for very little money. 100,000, 50,000, and maybe what is coming up is a 2 billion worth of a project that is coming up. It's a really wrong thing to do. So there's